Mushies, hello.
Hello, and how are you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. I think you're our last team.
Team 10 above
Cool.
us with Ash and Potatoes of Doom.
Team. No, they went first. They went first.
Okay.
Okay.
I was
Cool.
cruel. I was cruel to
Brilliant.
them.
So, so I'll introduce the idea a little bit first, if that's okay.
Yep.
Luke, do you want to maybe start sharing your screen as well at the same time?
Yep.
So, we actually did a global game jam at BCU 2 years ago, and we built a Game Boy game using a C library called GBDK, which is great. But obviously, the Game Boy coming out in 1989 was originally designed to be coded for using assembly. So there's a very specific form of assembly called GBZ80, which is essentially a subset of the 8080 and the Z80 instruction sets, but very unique on its own as well, in which all of the values in the CPU are directly memory mapped. So you can write to everything as a register rather than having to write input and output. So essentially, we built a game and it was a nightmare to work with because the C compiler was inconsistent and you would just literally like add a new integer and the entire code base would break. So we decided instead that we were going to teach ourselves to write Game Boy games using assembly. And as you can see on the screen now, we've created a game called The Adventures of Mushy, and Mushy is our little main character here. The idea is Mushy has lost his connection to the mycelium network, also known as the Wood Wide Web, and you're just sort of traversing some levels. We've got some basic physics going, some platforms. We're very proud of having built this conveyor style level loading feature. So essentially, we have taken the Super Mario World style of loading the level. We load 8 tiles ahead of the right-hand side of the screen on a wrap. Luke, I don't know if you want to maybe switch to showing the BGB emulator separately. And so the basic concept is, as we move to the right-hand side, you'll be able to see that as we move a tile to the right, we will be loading another tile ahead. So if Luke starts moving right here now, you'll see that ahead of where the actual game window is being displayed, we're loading new tiles in, and this is done in a really simple way. Basically, the Game Boy screen is a 32 by 32 set of tiles where each tile is 8 pixels. So you've got 256 pixels per row, 256 pixels per column. But the actual Game Boy screen itself is only 20 tiles by 18 tiles. So you're working with a subset of the overall window size that you've got memory for. So you can scroll within that. And there's a really, really good talk if you're interested any further called The Ultimate Game Boy Talk. You can find it on YouTube really easily, where he shows games like Donkey Kong Country, Tennis Superstars, stuff like that, use this concept a lot. Another thing that we've had to work with as well is something called memory banks. It's we've just learned so much doing this. This is the culmination of about 2 years worth of work. And I don't know if you want to stop sharing your screen, Luke, but a big dream of ours a few years ago was we said we want to be able to run our own games on real hardware. So I'll just load up here. We've actually, I used something called an EverDrive Game Boy cartridge, which has an SD card on it, which allows me to quite literally load our game up. And we can literally just plug in and play straight off the bat. And the fact that we can do this now is just awesome. So yeah, what we do is we try to focus on the how, not necessarily the what. So we spent 48 hours and we've got a very simple, basic platformer, which if we jumped in Unity or we'd use something like Pygame or Defold or whatever it was, we could have had that up and running in very, very little time. But we wanted to learn something new. And I mean, it's amazing actually that we're presenting to one of the Oliver twins. I've played all the Dizzy games and I've got quite a few of them on the C64 still. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Thank you very much for letting us present.
No problem. I remember. I mean, you probably remember me from 2 years ago. I remember you guys
Absolutely
presenting the Game Boy game. I was amazed then, and I'm even more amazed now. I mean, it's great to see. It's obviously you guys are doing this just purely out of passion for programming, which is the nerdiest thing I've seen, which is the best. Right, we're gonna head over to our judges, which I'm sure you're excited to hear from anyway.
Do we need to unmute Twitch, to hear them? Or
Yes, yeah. I tell you what. That's how I'm going to do in this case. If you guys could mute yourselves on Discord first, so I don't hear the feedback from Twitch, that'd be great.
Okay. Well, as a Game Boy programmer, shall I kick this one off?
I think they're avidly waiting for your feedback, Andrew. To be honest.
God, I mean, it was years ago. You started to give me nightmares seeing that stuff. Although, yeah, as I put in the thread, I used to do it with a sort of DOS. I think I did use a PC. It was DOS, and everything is just painfully slow. And yeah, you're brave trying to tackle the assembler and stuff. But yeah, you're cheating because you do have Windows and better tools than we had. But very, very brave to try and do assembler for a game jam. I mean, the one thing about assembler is it just takes a long time. And yeah, we made quite a few games, but we were in the zone for many years, I guess. And yeah, anyway, yeah, felt quite nice little jumpy around thing. I have to say our games probably weren't much more. I mean, I know that I wrote 3 or 4, but I honestly can't remember. It's that long ago. I remember Judge Dredd, which was pretty much jumping around platforms, shooting some other guys. And yeah, and I didn't get to meet Sylvester Stallone, but it was the game. It was the game of the film, but it didn't really matter. Honestly, it wouldn't have made any difference to that game. Anyway, awesome. Yeah, very novel. Good novel, different game jam for you.
Yeah, my feedback's really simple. Is you're crazy nerds and I love you. I don't. It was like it's like almost like the most pointless thing to do, but in a brilliant way, and I just absolutely love it. And people like you make me happy. So yeah, just keep doing it. Just like everyone else, I'm kind of carefully going through rating people on game design and art, and I've got a little score in the middle, which is execution, which is how well people have actually executed on their original idea. And you're the only people all day who've got top marks because it's just like game design almost nothing, art implementation almost nothing, but technical execution of what you've done to get that running on device over the weekend, just mind-blowing. Just make me happy. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I kind of agree. It's very difficult to judge this in relation to the other games that we've seen because it is just so different. But for the technical achievement of getting it running, it's hats off. So yeah, well done for that.
I'm probably just echoing the others, but I mean, wow, just wow, really. If you wanted to make it a bit more of a game, I mean, this is nitpicking here, but you could have just had some like holes that you could fall down or some something tight, super so that we could call it an actual game. But I mean, from Jeff's point of view, it's just wow. Very masochistic, probably is the right word. A little bit.
I found some games I've written.
Hey.
They're colour Game Boy games that we wrote. I'm just trying to find some of the I was sort of directing these as opposed to physically coding them.
Was Horse Adventures your favourite, Andrew?
Coded. Which one?
Horse Adventures, was that your favourite one? It looks really worn out. That one does. I mean, it looks like it's really been played for.
No, that one's actually faded. If the Cubics is actually faded.
So the Cubics one's clearly been faded because it was left on a shelf, but the horse one is worn out through use. Clearly.
I have to say, and there is something to be said for this in general game design and general lessons learned from games, that it was the most fun writing Barbie horse riding. I mean, Steve knows about this because he was at our company. I think we just about finished it when you joined our company, but everyone on the team absolutely loved it because it was so different from anything else. And okay, it was on PlayStation and Xbox and stuff, so you're all looking at the Game Boy one, but Wednesday afternoons we went horse riding because none of us, we were all blokes, none of us knew much about horse riding and making games for girls, and the artists and animators, they just loved working on these sort of visuals. It was so different from running around gritty warehouses, shooting people, hiding behind barrels, and having guns and stuff, and we had a blast making the Barbie horse riding. Anyway, moving on.
Anyone else? Luke?
I mean, I can't really say much more than has been said. Technology-wise, it was mind-blowing, just brilliant. It's a really lovely homage to the Game Boy era. Just well done.
Yeah.
People often say that the art in that game is beautiful, but I'm a little bit different in that I love seeing the technical side of things, and I find that beautiful. So just keep exploring that passion. I always do what you do at game jams when I attend, is that I just want to learn something new. So I think that's phenomenal.
Awesome. Right. Thank you, judges. In fact, I'm going to completely drop out of the call this time because I think we're pretty much done. So I'm going to drop out and I'll wait for a message from you, Carlo, till I join back in. In the meantime, I guess I'm going to show off what absolute monstrosity I came up with, which will fill the time, hopefully, between you guys making the decision and them getting terribly bored of me flinging objects around the screen. So, enjoy your deliberations. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay.
Okay. Cheers, Mushy's Adventure. That was absolutely awesome to see. Yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed working on it as well and didn't.
Thank you. And what we'll do is we'll put the GB ROM as well. If anyone wants to load it into an emulator or anything, we can share that easily.
Awesome. Perfect. Any final sign-off words, comments made or anything like that? No, you're gonna. All good.
Just awesome to speak to Andrew. Really. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Love it.
Wicked. Awesome. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.